This summer, HISD opened Houston Innovative Learning Zones, or HILZ Academies, at 6 schools. The academies provide students with training in various career fields, as well as an opportunity to earn a college associate's degree from Houston Community College. Recently, I joined students from the HILZ Academy at Jane Long for some hands-on training at the HCC School of Pharmacy. Let's take a look. I'm here today with Dr. Betty Young, and I'm at COLEMAN College for Health Sciences at HCC. We've brought the kids from Jane Long HILZ program, the pharmacy tech, to come and see what they're really going to do.
You snap it, you got your first capsule, you put it over here.
Tell me a little bit about this and how the program got started.
Well, HISD and HCC came together to talk about the kinds of partnerships we could do and how we could really create a relevant program for high school students that would move them into jobs immediately after graduation. It prepares them in pharmacy not only for retail, which is the one we think of very quickly because there's a lot of retail establishments, but it also prepares them for home health and IV, so they learn to mix chemo drugs and that type of thing.
Oh, wow.
IV antibiotics, yes. And then the third piece,
plus the hospitals.
The hospital pharmacy, yes. We've divided the students into several groups today, and they've been rotating through the different labs, and right now this group is here in the retail lab. Everything here is very state-of-the-art, the newest, the best, the greatest. So this is what you would find at any pharmacy, retail pharmacy that you might go to in the city to have your prescription filled. So the students see the actual drugs on the shelf, they interact with the software, they have phones to handle incoming phone calls because you know you have to be able to multitask to do these jobs. There's a phone call coming in, you're checking somebody out.
It's not just counting pills.
It's not just counting pills.
You have the drug comes in injection form, you have the drug comes in a tablet.
Retail is obviously a great option, particularly for those who want to go on with their education, because while you are working as a pharmacy tech, you can work nights, you can work weekends, you know, very flexible hours because there's a huge demand for pharmacy techs. Then you can work that around your schedule when you're attending class and going to clinicals to become a nurse or a respiratory therapist or a medical assistant.
Right, so you get your 2-year degree basically through HCC and HISD combined. In 5 years you can get your 2-year, and then you can go on and get additional certification.
Yes, a lot of opportunity. Our students, once they finish learning this in the lab situation, of course, then they go out and they spend time in a clinical. And it gives the employers an opportunity to see them in action. And a lot of them will get that first job based on those clinical experiences and that employer getting to know them.
This is a great opportunity, and once again, I really HISD really appreciates the work that HCC and we can do in Commons. It's good that we can get a rapport going and get some of these programs going so we have a natural tie between each other.
These kids are figuring it out that, you know, if you're going to be in Houston, there's certainly a couple of industries we know where there's great opportunity.
Got a big medical center.
One of those is the medical center. Texas Medical Center is the largest medical center in the world. And, you know, we have everything here. It's like Hollywood healthcare. And if you're going to work and study and be in healthcare, where better to be?
Well, thank you so much.
I
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Yeah,
Thank
you. Joining me now is Jane Long Principal Marcy Baez and Scarborough High School Principal Jason Ketchings. Thank y'all for coming today. Marcy, let's start with you. I know that each HILZ Academy has a theme. Tell us a little bit about yours and how it's progressing.
Our theme is the pharmacy technology, and we have 80 students in the program, and we've been in communication with HCC. You joined us on our latest field trip with Dr. Young at Coleman College, and it's a relevant program for our kids. They're learning and they're applying what they're learning.
Jason, tell me about Scarborough and the programs that are going on there.
At Scarborough, we have the Computer and Network Administration for the HILZ program. Our kids are all over it. I mean, that's like the new job industry that's out there. They love computers, their own computers all day long. We have about 40 kids at the 11th grade year. We have 37 at the 10th grade year and 32 at the 9th grade year. And so our juniors, what they've noticed is that they have to really get busy in the college classes. The rigor is really going higher in those classes, and they're already talking about it. Man, we wish we'd have taken more AP classes. And so for Scarborough, we started this year, we're going to pre-AP and AP only for all kids. to make that transition in for every kid at the school to have that opportunity. And the Hills piece, the kids that are in it love it. I mean, they love their professors, they love the hour-and-a-half block that they have there, and the community is behind it. They were a little cautious at the beginning, but now they're behind it. They want their kids in the program, and our kids are taking forth to it because they see it's a way to not only get a job, but also to get 2 years of free college. And now I'm transferring into colleges instead of being a freshman applicant. So I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of my peers as well.
Right, you have 2 years of college. That's not going to cost you like it would if you started as a freshman. Now I know you're starting with only 9th graders.
Right, and they are taking AP classes, and they're preparing for the Compass to enter into the HCC program. But yes, that's exactly what we're doing. So they're actually getting their AP classes and doing summer work, so that they, as sophomores, are already taking geometry and algebra 2. That, you know, kind of following that track.
So I take it that you do have a good rapport going with HCC.
We do. They, like I said, they've been very, very welcoming, and they want to continue to work with us to offer other allied health sciences.
Yeah, they had ideas about expanding to other allied health care.
Right.
Dr. Young told us an assortment of things that she would like to do in conjunction with HISD, which I think is very, very positive, especially because your community is in the Gulfton area and you're northwest.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
We're 6 miles from the, I mean, right on Bel Air on Holcomb. So
right down the bus route.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly right, and it makes an impact in the community when the students are getting on the Metro bus in their scrubs. That's just it. You know, I'm working and I'm continuing my education at the same time. It's a really good thing for us.
Now, your program being new, some of your students didn't quite realize what it was they were going to get into or what they could do. Now, you're a little more fortunate because you had some of the programs kind of at your school, but not, I don't think, as developed or built up as like what we're trying to do now.
Correct.
And so your guys can see what they get, that there is a job out there, because I know that I heard that your graduates are in high demand.
Our graduates are in high demand. I think right now we had a computer system already set in place where kids could learn to work on computers. I hired a couple this summer as part of the deal. When you graduate, if your teacher recommends you and you go through our interview process, then we put you in place as student workers at our campus while you go to college, because that's one of my requirements. You have to be enrolled in 12 hours for me to hire you on our campus. But now, like HostGator and some of the other companies are coming in and already offering these kids in 11th grade money on the weekends at $25, $35, $40 an hour to work for them on Saturdays and on the weekends, but also during a weekday.
Now, I know it's that time of year where middle school students are looking at where they're going to go to high school. So I know that there's a magnet awareness coming up this month, and they can contact your schools directly. Is there a centralized HILZ program? If a student wanted to come to your school, how would they apply?
They phone the school or email the school or contact the school, but we're out and about, and the HILZ programs, we all talk to each other. So if I have a student that's interested in something, you know, that's offered at Jason's school, I get on the phone and say, hey, this student's really interested, and we work like that. On our campus, we've received students from all over the city, so it's not just the Gulfton area, which it's been good.
And likewise, contact Scarborough.
Contact Scarborough, either myself or Glenda Calloway. She's the associate principal that is over the HILZ program. I think the biggest part about the HILZ group is we're working with each other and trying to get things going. So if like Marcy said, if a kid is wanting medical, I got to get them to Marcy.
Right.
That's the right thing to do with the kid. Work together to get the kid the best education and the best success for that grade 13 that we always talk about.
This is a fantastic program, and I appreciate your hard work getting these things going. I know the district does, and the kids in Houston are going to thank you too. Thank you again for coming today.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Coming up next, a fellow colleague on the HISD Board of Education stops by to talk about things happening in his district. Stay tuned. Manuel Rodriguez Jr. joins me when HISD Up Close returns in a moment.